Gentleman reserves, gentlelady from California.
Thank you. I will yield to the gentleman from Texas and the ranking member of Oversight and Investigations of the Financial Services Committee, Mr. Green, as much time as he may consume.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Ranking Member. I am so honored to stand on the floor with you. Your reputation for supporting the needs of the homeless across the length and breadth of our country is widely known and greatly appreciated and, quite frankly, celebrated. You have been there for the homeless. You have spoken up in committee and you have passed legislation to assist. And it does not surprise me that you would be supportive of this legislation. And while it does not surprise me, I still must tell you that I'm greatly appreciative for your support, because your support makes a difference in legislation moving forward from our committee. I'm also honored to thank the chair of the committee, Mr. Henseling, who, without question, reservation, or hesitation, immediately concluded that this legislation should have an opportunity to be voted upon. He has been a supporter of the legislation in the past, and I thank him for his current support. Mr. Luetkemeyer has been supportive of the legislation, and I thank you for your willingness to allow it to come to the floor as quickly as it has come to the floor. Sometimes it can take a little longer than we would like for legislation to come to the floor, but you immediately responded, and this legislation has made its way to the floor. I also would like to thank the gentleman from New Hampshire who spoke very eloquently about the needs of veterans, and it means a lot to me to know that we have the breadth of support in the House of Representatives that we have. I believe that it is almost sinful for us in the richest country in the world to pass veterans who are living in the streets of life holding signs indicating that they are homeless and that they need help. I believe that the richest country in the world can afford to provide for those who return home and are homeless. I think that when a person signs up to serve in the military, you don't know where that assignment will take you. It could very well mean that you will go to some distant place, or it could mean that you will stay right here within the continental United States. But when you sign up to go wherever you're told and to do whatever is required. And a good many of those who sign up and go and do what's required don't always return home the same way they left. And as a result, we see not only veterans on the streets asking for help, but you see veterans who are sometimes without all of their body parts. And it is especially painful when you see a person who has served the country and may be in a wheelchair now, asking for assistance on a street corner. I'm proud to say that I thank the Obama administration for the work that has been done to eradicate homelessness among our veterans. In Houston, Texas, we had a meeting with the HUD secretary and others, and at that meeting, our mayor announced that we were ending homelessness in Houston, Texas, in the sense that a person who needs help could find help if you're a veteran in Houston, Texas. And that means a lot to me, to know that my hometown city now is moving forward and is helping those who are living in the streets of life. But this piece of legislation, H.R. 251, does is this. It makes permanent what is already taking place. There is a person who is there to look out for veterans in HUD, but we want to make sure that that person is there permanently. And that's what this legislation does. You've heard about the reports that will have to be submitted. Exceedingly important that we know how many people are homeless in the veterans population. Exceedingly important to know what it costs to house and to take care of them. These are the kinds of things that the report will reveal to all who wish to know. But it's also important for us to understand that this is not an effort that we can end because we are making progress. Progress is important, but to continue the progress and to completely eradicate this homelessness, we have to have people who are there acting as sentinels, as watchmen for those who have served us well. That is what this person will do who will be stationed in HUD. And for further edification about the situation in terms of homelessness among the veterans population, let me share this statistical information with you. On January of 2014, the demographics indicated that on any given night, as was indicated, about 49,933 veterans were homeless. But let's talk about the people themselves and not allow them to become numbers. Here is what the statistical information further reveals. It reveals that 12% of the homeless adult population are veterans. Of the homeless adult population, 12% veterans. Reveals that 20% of the male homeless population are veterans. Reveals that 51% of individual homeless veterans have disabilities. 51% with disabilities, 51% needing our help, 51% that will benefit from having a person whose job it is to monitor and make sure that they are taken care of. But further, it would reveal that 70% have substance abuse problems, something that we really don't like to talk about. We know that it exists, and we know that something can be done about it. But you need someone who is there as a sentinel, as a watchman, to make sure that these needs are taken care of. Many of them developed their substance abuse problem while in the military, while serving the country. And that's unfortunate, but it is a fact. And what we want to do is make sure that we take care of all of them. So I am so honored to say to you that this bill has received great bipartisan support in the past, overwhelmingly so, I might add. But I also want to just thank my colleagues by reminding us of the words of Ruth Smeltzer. Some measure their lives by days and years, others by heartthrobs, passions, and tears. But the surest measure under God's sun is what for others in your lifetime have you done. I want to thank all who are going to do what they can to help eliminate homelessness among the veterans population, and those who will support this piece of legislation. And hopefully we will get it past the Senate such that we won't next term find ourselves supporting this same legislation. I thank you so much again, Madam Ranking Member, for your many years of service and your support for this legislation, as well as the many years of support that you have accorded those who live in the streets of life. God bless you, and God bless our country.
Gentleman yields.